Alright, so I got a couple poems. First, I got a haiku though. You all know what a haiku is?
Yeah.
Alright.
It's Japanese.
What is it?
It's 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
It's Japanese.
In fact, Japanese is. Alright, so this is my haiku. The answer, of course, is music. I'm not sure yet what the question was. Alright, so 2 poems. This first one is a little bit abstract, but hopefully y'all can follow it. This is called Atlas Skips His Shift. I saw on the news that the sky would be falling today. I couldn't believe how nonchalant it was, hidden in the weather forecast. Just a graphic giving the time, 7:02 p.m. The anchors never said a word. I sat up in a panic, looked around the room, asked if anyone else saw that, but the cats just looked at me funny. Neither one said a word. I ran to the window, looked outside, but there were no hysterics, no people tossing boxes into minivans, children shuffled under arm, keys fumbling in locks. It was actually quite silent and peaceful. There were no dogs barking. The birds clearly didn't give a shit, which surprised me given the circumstances. I looked up and the sky was already starting to bruise. It was actually quite beautiful. Even fruit doesn't rot this pretty. But soon it would turn black and fall off like a leper's arm, then someone would have to rush it to the hospital, and nobody else is going to take that job. I looked down at my watch and realized I don't wear a watch. So I hopped in my car and started driving, not really sure what I would do when I got there. The sky seemed to be falling into the ocean, so that's where I went, which is convenient because the ocean is a very large icebox, and I would need a large icebox in order to preserve all of that sky. When I arrived, the bruise had grown to a mammoth size, the remaining sky now just a sliver of pink bleeding off the edge of the earth. I grabbed the wave to pull it towards me, but the wave just dissolved in my hands. The moon offered to help, but she kept dragging in the wrong direction. I started to get angry. Why was this my fault? People had stopped their cars to watch, snapping little photographs with seagulls lazy gliding through the frame, a circle of chatting lawn chairs and 2 lovers staging the apocalypse's first kiss. They acted like this happened every day, like they would just wake up the next morning and the sky would magically be there again, as it had always been. I threw myself on the sand in disgust. The bruise was almost everything now, and it had grown hundreds of tiny eyes that were all blinking at me. The horizon looked so painfully far away. And there, writhing in the sand, I looked at the tourists and screamed. Can't you people see the sky is falling? Why am I the only one who tries to catch it? Alright, so this last one is probably one of my favorite things I've ever written, and I've never shared it with anyone. This is the first time I've read it anywhere. So it's about a year ago, I kind of stopped giving a shit about anything, and that's sort of what this is about. It's called Butterfly in Reverse. The man on the television screen is encouraging me to be suspicious of my neighbor. He can never fully explain why. Each morning, I stumble to the bathroom and stare at the shadowy figure clinging to my coattails, and I ask it, what are we going to fight about today? My head and my heart are no longer on speaking terms with each other. Something inside me ran off near the border with Mexico and refuses to come home. So I leave that place. But on the highway in front of me, both the right and left lane is filled with a car with either a right or left, red or blue bumper sticker pasted directly above a muffler that spits out something smug about the other. I mash the gas to get away, but the time clock mocks me for punching in late, and the man who sits across from me at work is hoping that today is the day he can get somebody fired. I try to escape to the vending machine, but the world won't just let me drink a Coke without constantly pointing out that in doing so, I am also choosing to not drink a Pepsi. Facebook might help kill some time, but I don't need hundreds of people telling me which aggression will not stand today. My own conscience already tells me to hate my skin color and my penis because they control the world. And yet I've never felt in control of anything. Y'all messed me up, I lost my...
That's one of them lines you just gotta say, what did he just say? Damn, that's deep.
No, what did I just say? Oh, right. Oh, yeah, so, my own conscience tells me to hate my skin color and my penis because they control the world, and yet I've never felt in control of anything. I have no more righteous rage against the man. In all of my nightmares, I'm the man. These nightmares happen while I'm awake. I go home to unwind, but now the television is obsessed with this sporting event, and fanatics of both sides are cheering on their color and their mascot without any regard for the people that are actually playing on these teams, only this is a game that nobody ever wins, and they call it politics. On the next channel, cops are pepper spraying protesters. On the next channel, someone is blaming the cops. On the next channel, someone is blaming the protesters. On the next channel, someone is blaming all of us who keep changing the channel. But wait, here's a paper towel that will wipe it all away. 70% faster than those other bullshit leading brands. We should call them hate-love relationships. Keep the ratio honest. The people hate the bankers. The red states hate the blue states. The rich hate the poor. The righteous hate the sinners. The Yankees hate the Red Sox. I am terrified of my neighbor and the man on the television screen. I can never fully explain why. So I switch off the remote. I turn the music up real loud. I curl into a ball because it has